everybody, thank you for joining me today. So today's video, we're going to be using the May kit from Scrapbooking with Me. We've been using it on a couple of the Fridays in May. So I'm also going to make sure to have links to those sketches at the very end. But this is the one that we're using today. It's my favorite thing sketch. And I wanted to show you what happens sometimes whenever you're using a sketch that doesn't have already the measurements on it. So on this one, I've already got my A2 size card. I'm ready to go. This is my matte piece and the pattern paper that's going to go on top of it. And my matte size is usually, it's always 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. And the pattern paper is 4 by 5 1/4. Okay. That never changes for me, especially when I'm doing the sketches, because I like using my pattern paper. So I want to make sure there's always like one big piece and then we layer on top of that. So if you've been watching the series for a long time, you probably see me do that the most on any of these cards. Now, the benefit of using double-sided paper, as always, the element that goes across the center, the kind of darker gray color, that I'm going to use the dark blue. So it's the reverse side of this polka dot paper, which is really pretty because it has a little bit of the foiling. It's so pretty. We're going to use that side to create our strip that goes along the middle. Now, I will say this. Sometimes when you look at the sketches, it may seem bigger than it is. I always try to go bigger, and then if it looks like it's not going to lay or line up right, I may then trim it down. That's what I should have done here. I wound up making my blue piece. I'll tell you 1 second. Basically like 2 1/4. Okay. And then right now, I'm sorry if I'm off screen for that, but the pink, kind of like a loopy banner, or like yeah, you can see it right there. I'm trying to add it to the bottom edge of the blue piece right now. That piece right there, it doesn't cover up much, so I should have cut this down a little bit more, and I think it would have looked more probably like the photo, but there's a lot of things that make it change slightly, but I'll mention that when I get to it further. So I'm taking the white pieces out of the center of the loop-de-loops, and we're going to attach this blue piece with the pink right to the card base. So I'm going to just fix on my screen where I see the sketch itself, because whenever I'm making the cards, I always have the sketch up on my computer screen, so that way I have it right in front of me. And then we're going to go ahead and attach it with the ATG tape and the art glitter glue. And we're going to lay that down kind of right in the center. And if you don't like the difference or the separation between the strip and whatever you're using for your kind of like border edge, then you can add ribbon. You can add a piece of decorative paper to go right along on top of it to kind of hide the seam or the separation. Okay, now my little banner flags wind up being a lot bigger than what they have pictured on the screen, I think. And then I also added another little flag because I wanted to add some gold up there. So this little tiny piece is kind of adding it on my own. And then I'm going to put it right at the top right. And so when I add it, to me, the white piece of paper that I'm using, the banner flags, everything just seems to be a little bit, I made it a little bit too big. And so you'll see as I put everything down, it kind of gets shifted to the side. And that's okay. The sketch is still there. You can still see it. But, you know, like, don't be afraid if it does change while you're using a sketch. I think the sketches are great to do something really quick, put something together and have a really pretty card. But you can change it up. You can always change up sketches. That's the best part about them. You can, if I decided to put my sentiment down at the bottom and they have it up at the top, or, you know, whichever way, you can make it your own. Okay. I could have opted not to do a border at all, even though it's right there on the sketch. It's up to you. At first I was going to put, you see the bicycle over there to the right? I was going to put that as my focal image from the sticker sheet, but I decided to use the big telephone and then the sentiment that says, "Hello, friend." And I don't know, like, to me, this would be a nice card. Like, I have a friend who moved away a couple of years ago. She's up in Pennsylvania and we talk a lot, but you know what, maybe one day I might want to send this to her, you know, just say hello, thinking of you, because who doesn't like receiving mail, you know what I'm saying? So that's why I like to do cards like this sometimes, just to be like, hey, I was thinking about you. I was going to put the heart or like an arrow down there at the bottom, but I decided to leave it alone because I really do like the polka dots. So I decided to move those and leave it. You could also put Nuvo drops down there. You could do a lot, but I just felt like this was enough. Okay. And anywhere where there might have been like a little bit of a mark or anything, I do take my mono eraser and just hit that real quick. Just be careful on some of the color cardstock because it will eat away at the paper. So thank you guys so much for joining me today. Make sure you hit the like, subscribe, and share button. And of course, I will have links to scrapbookingwithme.com and the Facebook page, everything down in the more section. And if you do go on to scrapbookingwithme.com and purchase, make sure you use my coupon code TT15 to get an extra 15% off on items that aren't already discounted. Well, that was a tongue twister. All right, you guys, thank you so much again for joining me. Make sure you have a great weekend, and I'll see you with our next video.